So I'm just going to document a little bit about how we create the box. Um, so it's the Let Freedom Bling box, and I go ahead and I create the countdown timer first, and that's here in the back end. This is the Craft Along with Crystal, and it's just HTML. This is for the Craft Along after on that launches on the 21st. And this is what it looks like. So we use the graphic in the background. So this is usually a different version of the graphic. Um, we could actually even bring this in a little bit and make this better, so that we could see the logo a little bit more. I might actually do that. And here is the crafting countdown. So we're 7 days, 0 hours, and 21 minutes from the Craft Along with Crystal. And when you make that blog post, it's important to add it to the Press and Peel boxes blog. And it looks like I didn't do an excerpt, which I'll do later when I do the actual Craft Along. Okay. And so that's not it. It's sitting there waiting for once we get the Craft Along launched. So then I actually worked on, before I made that, I didn't make that first, actually. I think the first thing I worked on was the theme, And so I came up with this theme and, created this design because I want the main theme to also be a wearable design. And then just created this like look, and of course I used Gemini. I think I used Gemini for the landscape and I used ChatGPT for the sky. And then I just kind of blended them in with a little bit of pink lighting down here. And then the next thing we do is we work on the index cards because we got to get the index cards sent before, because they have to be printed so that they can go in the boxes. And I learned a little bit from this when I'm sitting here holding the real thing in my hands, and it came out a little darker than I like. I should have made this a little bit brighter, and I did actually brighten it. I just didn't go extreme enough, but I'm still learning. And so this is the front of the card, and then this is the back of the card, and it has the link to the Craft Along, which is why I had to have the Craft Along page created so I could put the QR code there. And then this is just the link to our Facebook group. And we changed those element colors to kind of match the box. And there's some things that we kind of leave the same and others that we change out. So, sometimes I have this tilted. I think if I had to do this over again, I wouldn't have tilted this one. But overall, I'm pleased with how it came out. I just used the sky in the background, and we got the spinner of fireworks, which is part of the theme. Because I've also done a few videos. I've got these assets. These are all the pieces of different parts of what I use to actually like make everything, And then we got the designs. I'm going to be careful on this part. I'm not going to actually click in and look at any of these except for the Let Freedom Bling. So that's actually going on the gang sheets, and we've already seen that. Everybody's going to see that one. But, I've used this folder to build all the different designs that are on the gang sheet. So that's what we got. And I think just one of these is actually one that we've already sold before that we've used, and that's the astronaut. So this is like one of our best-selling designs of all time. And if anybody hasn't gotten their hands on this design, I wanted them to, and so that's why I included that in the box. But the rest of these are totally original, except actually for the denim patchwork. So we did create a denim patchwork design that was that matched this. And I just went ahead and bought this from the original artist and cleaned it up because, when you buy designs on Etsy, they're not really ready to print most of the time. I hope that changes over time. And I'm still not super happy with it, but it's good enough. It's good enough to print. All right. And when I say these designs are original, what I mean is they're inspired and we've recreated them in our own way, like from scratch. So don't worry, they're not like completely original. They're all mimicking best-selling designs that are out there on the internet. Some are actually 100% original. Bougie in the USA in particular. But most of them, follow a pattern of stuff that already sells really well around the internet. And they're all patriotic themed. They all follow the theme of the box. So this is my notepad document that I just keep. And it's a details document, and it changes actually. I keep one of these open. And, I'm telling it that we both work I'm in Gemini Pro. We both work for CrystalDTF.com. I finished our gig sheet for our latest press and peel box, Let Freedom Bling. It's time for us to work on the details for the website. And I'm feeding in this example. I'm saying, I want you to prepare the details in this format. That's what I said. And then I gave it this example. That's our standard details format. Now I'm just going to go to our last box. And we need to put the call to action to buy the box higher. We should have put that at the top. We should put it at the top and the bottom, actually. But here's the details that we want right here. We want these. This is the details that are going to come that we're going to actually feed into Gemini. So I'm going to grab those from the back end of Shopify. Okay. And so we're just going to show the HTML. And I'm just going to grab this HTML. And I'm just going to, here are the HTML details for the last press and peel box we prepared. And then I'm going to put the 3 ticks. They're right above your tab key. And then paste it. That lets Gemini know that that's a section, And I'm also going to show Gemini these tags. So I'm just going to screenshot these tags. And I'm going to look for other things. And I need, this one was 88 inches. This new one is only 80 inches. So I'm just thinking about all the things that I need to tell her. So I'll just paste in that screenshot and I say, I've included a screenshot. Oh my gosh, screen's hot. Of the tags on our last box. Please make appropriate tags for this box and include them in your output of the details. So I'm constantly reminding her about the details that she's going to output. So I'm going to go and actually copy this link and say, this is the link to the craft along. Here is the link to the new craft along. Boom. And I'm going to tell her that the products will not be available. The individual design listings will not be available until the 21st. Just put an explanation where they will appear later as you are crafting the HTML description. Okay, so now we've told her all this stuff. Now we need to give her a command. So we need to say, prepare. Oh, here we go. Now I want you to follow the format above and output the details for our new press and peel box. Okay, and what now? I've done everything well except tell her what's really going on, you know. So I haven't actually given her any real information about the box. Screenshot of the tags. I also provided a screenshot of the title format. So this is really complicated. Like doing a great prompt is difficult, you know, and I've got everything set up here, but now I need to tell her about this box. This box, Let Freedom Bling, is full of blingy, patriotic designs ready to impress on the 4th of July or whenever. Let me write this. Now I'm saving a shrunken version, 1200 pixels by 4364 for web, okay? And I'm going to call this the preview or box preview. All right, and I'm saving that in the right folder. Come on, Mike. Let Freedom Bling. Boom. Now I'm also going to upload the index cards. So she gets I've uploaded the gang sheet preview and the front and back of the index cards. It's really important to explain what you've uploaded. Like, how does she know what all these things are? All right, I've uploaded the gang sheet preview and the front and back of the index cards. All right, and I want to tell her more about it. And I came back up and edited this part. The individual design listings will not be available until the 21st. Just put an explanation of that in the section where they will appear later as you are crafting the HTML description. List the designs by name in alphabetical order, but do not include links. We will link them later. Okay. I've uploaded the gang sheet preview front and back. The box has several professionally halftone designs for black sharks, including the disco bell. And now I'm going to give her the list, right? So it's already in alphabetical order. Okay, I said that one's renamed after the screenshot. So I gave her a screenshot of all the names. Now, some designs are for white and some for dark, including or put it in reverse Terry design that we are offering for both. All right, so I'm just giving her some ammunition so that she can craft a really great response. All right, and then we're going to follow the format above, and we're going to make sure, I'm going to put this on thinking. Thinking or Pro does pretty good with code. HTML is not code. HTML is a markup language. If it was real code, I'd put it on Pro. All right, let's let her rip. And as per usual, as soon as I submit a prompt, I think about something I should have said. I should have said, output the details in an easy copy to paste box. That was a mistake of mine just now. And so she's literally thinking about all of the different pieces, and hopefully she does output properly, but we'll see. Love it. Look at all that thought process. The alphabetical order is already correct. Boom. All right, here we go. So she screwed up and didn't finish, and I probably should have given her that final little bit, because it would have just made it easier for her. It's just too much. We also might try Pro. She screwed up. That's okay. So I'm going to open a new instance of Gemini. I'm just going to copy this prompt. Come here. I'll put in an easy to copy, paste text block. I really think that's going to make a difference, and she's going to be fine. I'm also going to switch to Pro because I'm not wanting to do the same thing expecting different results, right? And then I'm just going to copy and paste these. So I'm just going to copy, paste, second one, copy. Okay, so I got it all lined up. We're going to go again. Okay, so let's see. Yep, this time she's got it. Awesome. And she's even got the details like the Freedom Blings disco bell right here. Okay. And that edit doesn't need to be there. So she's not perfect. That's for sure. But here's our title. Now we're ready to create the product. These boxes represent, just dozens and dozens of hours of effort to put them together. And they don't just sell, the box itself. We sell the designs afterwards, and it also gives us a lot of stuff to put on social media. It's a content factory. That's what we're doing here. We're providing real value by putting out something that, is going to give our customers something to sell or have fun with, whatever their goals are. And also, driving content for our website, and education. When I chose the designs in this box, I tried to make sure that there was like some education in the choices. I showed how to do something on lights and how to do something on darks side by side, so our customers can experience that. Now we're going to make the web graphics. And the first one that I want to address is the graphic that is the one that we use for the blog post. So just navigate to a previous box, and they're all in the drive. Just go to a previous box, and we're going to go to Trippin', and we're going to look at the web graphic, and we're looking for there's the web graphic. So we're going to get the format. It's 1920 by 864. Okay. So let's just go make that properly. So here we go. We're going to go to the Freedom Bling, index cards, open up this front. And I believe everything that matters here is a smart object. It looks like it to me. So we can crop this without fear. So I'm just going to go out here and I'm going to crop it. And I'm going to do 1920 by 864. And then I'm going to drag it out until it fits the stage that we already have for the most part. So we just want to be just inside this. Yeah, something like that. And hit enter. And we have to prune without pity. So we're just going to grab this. And we've got this, limitation right here. We're just going to scale her out. We're going to make it work. So I'm going to take it down to there, and we'll scoot this down. Get that moon in the scene. And we got the kids still, so we're good. And then we'll take this, all these layers, and we'll shrink them because we saw that we had a problem. We want to make sure that they make sense and that they work. So we'll just throw those right there. And I'm going to make sure that whole thing, let's just group them. And let's center them to canvas. Awesome. Okay, cool. So now we're just going to do File, Export, and we want to save for web. That's really important when you're putting a graphic online, especially a big one. We want to save it for web. And we're going to do 1920 by 864. It's still a big image size, but it's getting a 60% reduction in quality. And we're going to put that in our web graphics, and we'll just call that Let Freedom Bling blog post and save over that. Replace. And now I'm just replacing that in the back end so that we've got that. And I'm just going to save that. Whenever you make a change, of course, you want to view it. See what you got. Way better. Let's look at it smaller. Way better. Okay, great. You always want to check the mobile view, so you want to make it small and then you want to inspect. And I will usually undock this little box here. Where is it? Right here. And then you just want to click on the mobile view right here. And then you can see what it really looks like on mobile. Cool. So now we need to produce this, the wide, and we need to produce the thumbnail. But I am going to save this PSD as in the web graphics folder. Let Freedom Bling blog post. And that way we can always go back and edit. And now let's look at our ratio on the Trippin' Promo wide. And it's 1200 by 909. So we're going to go back to our crop tool. And we're going to do 1200 by 909. And then we're going to just expand it. Make it make sense. We're really kind of stretching to get that moon in. You can always shift. We want the moon. We can shift over. And I think that's my crop. Oh, look, I can get more in this direction. So I'm going to take it. And I see a little bit of a line down here that I don't like. I don't know if that was on our other stuff, but I'm going to fix it on this one at least. Yep, that's what I'm going with. And I'm just thinking. I'm thinking about, what we're trying to do here. I think that we should turn off the fireworks. And it's going to make a very different look. Just that huge change right there. Now I'm just going to move the elements around and see what I can come up with. And I'm just balancing the elements. We're all learning. I've got this lined up sort of with the moon and sort of with the side of the head. And before it, dips into the space of that, I've got auto select on, so it's making it easy for me to move things around. I'm just going to kind of center this time. Let's just look at that centered. Okay, we want it off-centered just slightly to be balanced. And I played with the glow a little bit. I'm just kind of playing with the glow and seeing what we like. So something like this. Might even increase the opacity of the glow so it's brighter. And then, just reduce the spread. Yeah, I liked it right there. Okay. Now I'm going to go download this Trippin' Promo wide. I'm going to select this price tag. So there's the whole price tag. And I'm just going to, that's all self-contained. And I'm just going to duplicate that layer and stick it over on the Trippin' Let Freedom Bling. Okay, I need to resave that one. Let's close that. Nope. Let's save this as so we don't mess up our blog post. And we're going to call this Let Freedom Bling Promo Wide. Boom. And I'm trying to just play with the different elements to get something that I like. Don't fret, we're going to change those colors. I'm trying to balance that with this. I think that I've sort of achieved it. It's not perfect. This whole Let Freedom Bling and the press and peel. Let's just move those next to each other so we can play with them together. Let's just take those and slightly reduce, slightly push up. I don't know if we can get this bigger. Feels off over here. And I also don't want it interfering with the mountaintop because it's a pretty part. Well, let's try reducing the opacity. Oh, yeah. Now it's not competing so much. Okay, let's color that price tag. So we're just going to click into it. And we've got some pretty strong colors that we used on the back. So we'll just kind of grab a couple of those and see what we've got. I'm just going to set my colors to what we used on this back here. And I'm going to change this red to our red. And I think I'm going to try using the blue as the stroke and the shadow. Okay. And then this is that. Let's take both of these and let's see if we can just flip them horizontal. It's working for me. And then this is our text. So I'll just bring it over so it's where it should be. And then let's see if we can't just change the color to whites. And then we'll try the stroke as the blue. And the drop shadow as the blue. That's working for me. All right. I don't know what you think, but that's what I've done. All right. And then I wish that it was bigger. The price needs to be bigger. So I'm just going for it. Okay. And I've just decided to let it read down like this. You know, I'm not sure what everybody thinks about that. We could take this and just a little shove. And we could take this and we could do a little shove. Oops, I wanted to do both of them. Turn off auto select. So this and this. And just let it have a little bit of a shove over. And then we can take this and maybe now that it's not, you know, let's whoa, shoot, sorry. And now we'll take that CrystalDTF and we'll try to let's actually select the price tag and put a ruler on it. Yeah. And we'll take this and we'll just right align it with that. Actually, we'll right align it with the inside of this. Okay, we got to call it done at some point. Let's save it. And we're going to export it. Save for web. And if we forgot what our size is, we can just go to our previous box. And we can look at our web graphics. And we can say, here's our promo wide. It's 1200 by 909. We're going to do 1200. We should just do 909 if we were working in the right size. Yep, save. And then we're just going to save this as, yeah, promo wide. Now I'm going to reformat it for the square. And I just decided I can't keep the moon in my square. And I'm okay with that. So we're just going to grab this. Bring that down. Scooch her up. We'll take the CrystalDTF. I'm not sure where to put that. We'll just make it smaller. We can just leave it off. Doesn't have to be on every one. You know? All right. And I see a little bit of a gap here at the bottom. I hope I didn't have that on my last one. I don't think so. So we'll just do image canvas size. and we will come in. Let's see. All right, and then we're going to save that. And I do remember this dimension. It is 1024 by 1024. Just hit save. And we're going to call this thumbnail. Save. Okay, so now let's just go copy this. And then we're going to do a new. And we're going to paste it in there, and we're going to save it in the folder. So we're calling it Let Freedom Blame Details.txt. And we're just going to go to Add Product. And so we're going to start using our details and plugging it in all the different places. But the first piece we know we need is this media. Here's the thumbnail. And I'm going to pull open the previous box so that I have an example, you know. And I know that it needs to go in this press and peel box. I'm not sure that it needed to be in any of those other ones. That was not good. That's Shopify doing some kind of automatic stuff. Okay, there it is, right there. And now it's all set up for us, so we're just going to grab this. Obviously, we're going to read these things. We're not just going to paste what Gemini gave us. I'm going to grab the tagline. Yep, I love it. Tagline goes here. And then we're going to take this HTML down here. So we're just selecting from here all the way to the bottom. Copy. And then we're flipping into HTML mode and pasting. And it didn't put a video. We're going to have to come back and put the video. Okay. And I'm just going to set it to draft at this point and hit save because that's a lot of stuff done. Okay, and this is a perfect example of, you know, we don't need this to be an edit, right? So, you know, here we'll just back this off. All the designs in this box, we'll be able to single transfer starting on the 21st. Beautiful. And then the craft along is not available, you know. The Let Freedom Building craft along. Be available soon. Yeah, see, it's good to find a way to not even say, you know, will be available here. That's great. You know, in case somebody came back and read this later and we forgot to change it, it wouldn't be so bad. We will change it. We need to remember that we're changing it. But yeah, anyway, I want to write some stuff about this being ready all year long. So I'm going to write some more copy here. Okay, so I added this paragraph. The designs in this box are not specific to the 4th of July necessarily. Plenty of them will also work for Memorial Day or just everyday patriotic wear. Most are respectful and tasteful, but there are a couple zingers in there. Just warning them that there's a couple that are little tongue-in-cheek jokes. You will find designs specific for light shirts and dark shirts as well. But several of the designs will work great on any color shirt. The best thing? These designs are built to sell. Fill out your local boutique shelves with these designs and watch them disappear. We need an explanation about that. All right, that's good. Okay, and I didn't use all the tags that she did, but I also added some of my own tags. And let's look at this theme template. Yeah, it's just our default product. Okay, so that's great. Okay, we're going to fill in the price. And we don't want to track inventory because we can just make these on demand. And yeah. And then I'm actually going to come down here and edit this search engine listing. Let's just grab this. 434 of 160 characters used. Let's get rid of those. 260. Let's get rid of those. 180. $160. We did it. All right, great. So now I've gone and mapped the products. And this thing, not that one. Oh, I've lost it. Where do we go find it? There it is. It's ready to be active. Save. So now we have one more step. We want to put it live on the home page. So we're just going here to edit theme. And then we're going to come down here and we're going to click on this block here. And there's the thriving and surviving. And it's time to turn that one off. Actually, let's just add this image first. Well, we'll go ahead and, hide that one. And then we're going to add image. And we're going to name it. I think you do that up here, right here. And we're going to call this Let Freedom Fling. And see that changes there. And then we're going to select the image, add files. That's why we have the wide promo. Open it. Done. And then we're going to set the settings for it. So down here, no, I meant up here. We're going to change this to 50%. And then the heading, we just get rid of. And the subheading, we just get rid of. And then the link, we just type products. Oh, I think we just type let freedom. Fling. There she is. And that's the link. Okay. And then we're just going to hit save. And now we're going to go to the front end of the website and we're going to make sure it all makes sense and looks good. So let's just go to CrystalDTF.com. Oh, we can exit this preview. I like to turn that off so I can see really what the customer sees. And there's our box. So let's click on it. Everything looks great. No problems. And then one other place we want to check is look at the press and peel boxes and see that it's there. So still need to do a promo video and all that fun stuff for this. And we'll work on that. So, all right. I know this was long and I appreciate your patience watching it. And I appreciate all of our customers. And hopefully this shows you how much we care at CrystalDTF.com. And for my team members, I'm just setting you guys up to succeed and hopefully be able to complete these tasks on your own in the future. All right. Take care.